Hey, hello. Long time no see, but I'm back now and autumn is just right here, right there, and we have loads to do. In this video, I want to jump back into EDDY 3D because I get the feeling that some of you are slightly confused about how the probes work, the probe points. You might remember this. We built this landscape with trees and we built our EDDY 3D script to test the wind and the probe points we generated out of the topography. Now in this video I want to show you that this is just one of the ways you can do it. There's many other ways and I hope this video will help you to understand this a bit better. Now, but before we jump in, we need to celebrate some new members. First up, already 12 days ago, I apologize, I was not here, I was on holiday, but Evangelina Quesada, and I hope I pronounce it correctly, otherwise let me know. You seem to be a big ballet fan, that's for sure. My bad, I don't know anything about ballet. I think I need to look it up. I need to learn about it. But thank you so much for supporting my channel. I hope you get something out of it and let me know if you have any questions. Next up, we have 3 days ago, we have Pudding Cat. I love the name, Pudding Cat. I saw this short. I remember I saw that short somewhere for sure. Let's watch it quickly. Hey, Pudding Cat, thanks a lot. Also, please let me know if you have any questions, suggestions. I'm up for it. Cool name, definitely. And by the way, it's Pudding Cat. Arr. And then we have Arne Hulsmann, and this is a special one because Arne decided to sponsor. He's on the next level of members, the first one in that next bracket. So I'm super excited and now there's no excuse anymore. I have to produce some members only content. All right, Arne, thanks a lot. I hope you get something out of this and let me know. Just send me your questions and suggestions and I hope I can help you. All right, now let's jump into EDDY 3D. What do we need for this? We need to look at our script. This was our script before. I will not rebuild the script again. I will rebuild parts of it, but not the whole script. What's important is that we will just go through and I will see on how we can manually put our probe points. All right. Now we need to go through the script so you understand a bit what happened. All right. Okay. Let's look at this. So we have this tool here. This is the boundary condition. We don't need to change anything here because we leave it as it is. This is the wind direction. It's the velocity, the reference height, surface roughness, and the minimum set coordinates. All right. So that we don't need to change anything. We have our box shaped domain. If we preview this, I'm supposed to see it, or maybe not. Maybe in a different, no. I know there was a way to look at it. I think it's the mesh. We can look at the mesh, probably. Interesting. It doesn't really show anything. I had this before. Nevertheless, we also don't need to change anything here, but we might need to change something here. Actually, no, not really. Don't worry about it. It was a wrong assumption. This box-shaped domain goes into the simulation result. We have our working directory. There we need to have a new one because we already have something. We have the results from the results in here. That's why I didn't have to rerun it again. I just opened the script and my results were already in that folder. So I didn't have to rerun. What else do we have? We have the mesh settings. That is about the accuracy of the buildings, features. Actually, features here has a default value too. The accuracy of the building, bounding boxes, and so on. If you have troubles, if your simulation runs very short, you might want to have a look here and try to increase. 4 is pretty high already, so I would not push it. I would like go like in small steps, definitely. Number of iterations, that is also something quite important. The more iterations, the more accurate is the outcome, of course. And CPUs, I put here 6. I had some issues in the past by putting a -1. -1 just means all CPUs -1, so I can still use my computer for other things. I just put here 6. So that all goes into the simulation. We still need to change anything on our probe points, because the probe points, the points where we want to make our calculation visible, is really just a location where we measure what's already there. In other words, the simulation calculates the entire thing, and the probe points are just locations where we want to make what the calculation has done visible. We want to make these are the locations where we want to make the calculation visible. So the calculation is everywhere. It's done through all the cells within that wind tunnel. We just make it visible in some areas. So in a way, I could use this. I could use actually this simulation already. I don't need to rerun it, but I can set up a new probe point locations to make it visible. By the way, I had some. Oh yeah, this still doesn't work. I don't know why. I will check if they already have a new version. So basically, the whole script works except of what we show here at the moment. Now, what we did here, why this works very well though. So, okay, in order to understand what we did, you need to understand in order for you to understand what we want to do, you need to understand what happened. What we did, we ran a simulation regardless of any probe points. The simulation is done. Now, what we did, in order to get these points, we culled the building mesh from the ground mesh. So basically, we took the ground mesh and reduced it by the building meshes. So we took out the building meshes. That gave us a new mesh without that footprints of the buildings. That's what we did here, right? And that's a good idea because you don't want to have any probe points inside the building. That would give you wrong data. It will give you a wrong result. We can test that, but in a way, we get a mesh. That mesh goes into here. We just read out the face normals of this mesh. We get the centers. We move the centers slightly upwards, a person's height, basically. And from there, we feed it into the probe points, right? That's it. Feed it into here. Now, okay, if I remove this, it's gone. I could set here any probe points, any probe point. I place a probe point here. And okay, now I place it in here. Now you have everything which ran into here, into the result, went into this one point. That's also not correct, of course. But I can, now if I rerun this, I get one value because I have only 1 point. You see, I get one value. It's that simple, really. Okay. Now, if I want to, for example, have let's say I want to have a vertical plane through that space. Okay, what I could do here is I set a mesh or a surface. Let's create so I create a plane that's now in here, and I move it somewhere where it needs to go through some trees and some buildings, maybe here. I make it a bit smaller. This is my surface. I can divide my surface. By the way, if you have Ladybug, there's an easier one, of course. You can use this Ladybug generate point from grid. That would work like this, and you could here set a grid size, let's say 1 meter, and that creates a nice grid. And the points coming out of here would be my probe points. So we could test that right away. So actually we could put this in here. I would need to rerun that. Interesting. Probably would need to rerun. I had to rerun it twice, interestingly, but you can see, actually, that's very interesting. I'm not sure why, but by rerunning it twice, it helped. So here, it's very clear. It has these trees will help to mitigate the wind a bit. And then on top, it just has the speed it has. Not sure why it does this. And probably we would need to check here if this domain is, the gradient is correct here. Seems like, because now you can see that we have here a bigger number, which we didn't have before. So we would need to check here if we might need to add here a bit more. So if I create a slider with, oops, here 20, and then yeah, then it becomes more clear on how it works. By the way, with things like this, where the gradient maps a different list of results, you need to be careful that you compare it correctly. So if in the previous test, my maximum was maybe just 7 or 6, you would need to find a maximum which fits all your tests to compare it, if you just rely on the colors. Because now, of course, before we had a maximum of 7, it looked like this. Now we map it to a higher number, a bigger range, the colors change, but the numbers don't, the output doesn't change for these areas where we had our results previously. I hope it makes sense. But that's one way. If you don't have Ladybug, you can also create it manually, just with Grasshopper, divide surface. That's one way. Here's a bit different. Oh, there's maybe, yeah, surface frames. And then these are my points. Careful, very careful, because my computer just crashed. With this tool, you need to be careful. Now, if we add here, okay, let's say this is my grid point, my point grid. That's pretty dense. Okay. Now, very careful now. Don't put the points in here. Don't. First, flatten. And now we can put it. And now it's red, of course. We need to run it. And for sure it's still red. For sure it still doesn't work. Let's see. Yes, we can hide this as well. And also this. There's something pretty wrong. I'm gonna rerun it. Yeah, because it crashed. So I have to redo this. Okay, 20, and over here. Now, so I hope it makes sense. So basically, this portion and this portion are two different things. We can place our prop points anywhere we want and in any form we want. We could do even a volume with prop points if we want. But yeah, that's how you can set it up. And of course we can play with the length here again if we want. Now, one thing you need to be careful, of course, because, and it's something you can figure out on your own, is how to cull any, like for example in here, now we have, of course, props within that building. So how would you cull it out? But actually it's pretty simple. It works the same way as we did it here. We'll take the building, we would take our new mesh, we would first change this to a mesh, of course. We would then run this tool, we get the culled mesh, and from there we take our points. So that could be another way. I also showed a similar principle in the Ladybug series, where I did something very similar but manually with Grasshopper. But this is more about how the props work. You can set it up in any way you want. And yeah, I hope it's much clearer, and please let me know if it's not. Alright, I hope you liked this video. Leave comments, check out my membership section, and if you want to support the channel, it would be amazing. And yeah, happy autumn? Anyway, happy university, happy studying. Alright, see you in the next video. Ciao!